How's everybody doing? This is another DeVeaux Speaks on July 10th, 2019. I made a promise to myself I was going to have 13 of these videos up on DeVeaux Speaks before July 12th, and I'm actually at 9. So expect to see 4 more drop real quick in these next 2 days. Today's DeVeaux Speak, we're going to just talk about it's not what you know, but it's what you show. Before I get to it, I actually have to address something I said in the previous video when I was talking with my man Perry, and we were talking about asking for support and how difficult it was for some people, especially for men, to ask for help, ask for support. And as has happened to me before in the past, I get comfortable in conversation and the mouth starts moving before the brain's always engaging. And I made a comment, I believe the quote was, "A woman cannot show me how to ask for help." And I said it real quick. Some people may have missed it, but there's definitely a couple of people who caught it, and a sister brought it to my attention. So let me address where I was coming from with that statement, because I can definitely understand how a woman may take that a certain way when I said a woman cannot show me how to ask for support. So let me address this. First, let me say thank you for watching DeVeaux Speaks. I started it just for helping some of my students when we didn't have an advisory. I want students to be able to listen to it and engage in conversations. So I appreciate when anyone takes time to listen to me speak. So let me say thank you first. Second, feel free to drop it in comments. You know, the sister told me that she didn't want to blow me up in the comments, stuff like that. It's okay. I just want to engage in discussion. That would have been great. You could put that comment. There's other women who may have agreed with you. And third, this is DeVeaux Speaks. It's not God Speaks. So what I'm saying, this is just my thoughts on life, my own reflections, my personal feelings. So it's not something that everyone necessarily needs to agree with or understand. But in this case, I think maybe I was misunderstood, so I will be a little more clear. Not asking for support and asking for help in the other video, that's my personal hang-up. That's something that just came about from my growing up, my orientation, the way I was raised, the way I perceived things. It was difficult for me to ask for help and support all the times I needed. And I equated that, not everybody, not every man, but me, Brother DeVeaux, I equated that with a weakness sometimes to ask for help or support. Because that was a personal hang-up for me, it would be helpful for me when I saw other men asking for support of help, because they would model it for me. Not that a woman, don't take it too far when I said a woman couldn't show me how to ask for support, that I think women can't show me anything. I've learned a lot from women, a lot. I think about my favorite professor at Hampton University, Dr. Haysbert, who taught me a whole deal out even outside the classroom, who I appreciate and love to this day. She was my mama on campus. But in that particular situation, because my hang up was men shouldn't ask for help or support, it would be helpful for me personally when I saw men asking for support of help, that I needed it modeled for me. Not that other people aren't capable. In other words, if you wanted to learn how to teach mathematics, and somebody else from your neighborhood, you know, your fellow, the guy next door who's not a teacher, he's like, "Yeah, I'll show you some things what I think about teaching." You may say, "Nah, hold it. Let me actually see a teacher do it. Let me see a teacher's lesson plan." That would be helpful for me, someone who's actually doing it. Not that other people's opinions are not valuable, but you may want to see somebody who's actually doing what you're trying to do. And in this case, if I'm thinking men shouldn't ask for support or help, and that's a hang-up that I was very wrong about, and I'm trying to get better, it would be helpful for me to witness and observe other men model that for me. That was my intention. I said it quickly, and I was saying a woman couldn't help me support. No disrespect to all the women and sisters who've taught me and shown me many things throughout the years, but this was one thing that was helped if it was modeled by another man. So I hope that helped. That was kind of a DeVeaux Speaks in itself. I should hit pause. But I did want to get to this other piece, because talking to the same sister, she reminded me of something I heard a long time ago about life is not always what you know, but it's what you show. And I'm thinking about that as I teach this summer school class now. It's not really a summer school class, but it's a GED program for adults. And A lot of them were very smart. Matter of fact, some of them already had high school, college degrees in their country where they came from, but when it came here, it didn't transfer over. So now they're back in school to further their education. So they already know the information. They know it, but they need a piece of paper to show it so they can advance in their career. This is extremely important. This is really back to the young people now, talking to my students who've graduated, and why it's so important, I think, for you to further your education. There's going to come a time in your life, I didn't see it in my 20s, but as I got older, I saw the frustration sitting in from when I knew a lot. I read a lot, I go to a lot of talks, I experienced a lot, but then it didn't always mean as much because I didn't have the paper to show it. I remember when I was working down in, was it Virginia, Maryland? Senior moment. But I did, those who know me, I teach high school now in the Bronx, but I taught 3 years down in Hampton, Virginia, and I taught 3 years in Salisbury, Maryland. In one of those places, I believe it was Salisbury, Maryland, a local college, after hearing me talk and engage at a symposium, they offered me, they said, why don't you could teach a college class during the evenings, make some extra money. That was a great opportunity for me. I was like, okay, let me get my door in there, start working at a college. I still teach in high school during the day. Let me work at this college at night. Comes to find out, I didn't have my master's degree yet. And there was really no excuse for it. Because in New York, you have to get your master's degree as a teacher. But when I was down south, they didn't require teachers to have the master's degree. So I already had started a master's program, and I didn't finish it because I no longer had to have it, but I should have finished it for myself. So I lost an opportunity because even though the people witnessed me and they knew I knew information and I would be a great college professor, I didn't have a piece of paper to show. It wasn't what I know, it's what I was able to show, and I didn't have that opportunity. I gotta tell you, you're gonna get really frustrated, young people, as you get older in life and you see people becoming supervisors and making more money, and you're gonna look at them, you're gonna be like, that person's not smarter than me. She doesn't know more than me. But they went through and had the discipline and focus to get that piece of paper, and now therefore they're your supervisor, or they're making more money than you. It's extremely important to understand. So always get as much as you can so you can always show people what you know to avoid that frustration. I'm gonna go back and get the school-based leadership licensing degree. I don't even know if I want to be a principal or assistant principal. I don't think I do. But when I have conversations with them, I don't want anyone bringing up, well, if you went through this program, you'd understand the new pedagogy of educators now. No, I'm gonna go get the degree. I'm still gonna do what I want to do, but I'm gonna be able to show, look, I know as much as you. This paper is gonna show I know as much as you, and now we can have a discussion from there. Like a lot of people, young people, a lot of times you'll hear potential. We say that a lot to students. Oh, look at her potential. She has some great potential. That's cute when you're a teenager. We're trying to build you up and know that you're capable of doing more, and we have high expectations of you. But as you get older, potential's an insult. I'm not trying to hear about the potential I have being almost 50 years old. Because potential really that means you're not doing what you're capable of doing. That's what potential means when you're grown. When you're young, it's like, oh, you're not living up to your potential. Okay, thank you. Encourage me to do more. When I hear I'm not living up to my potential, I just know that I'm not stepping up to where I need to be. I take that as a slap in the face and a kick in the butt, that I need to really get up to my game. Because of that, if I'm not living up to my potential, that means I've given gifts and talents that I haven't fully manifested yet. I'm not in my final form. Right? And so I have to go ahead and keep on striving. So, that was it. We had the 2-part today here. But really, remember this, young people, those going off to college, y'all going to different places, write that on your wall. For whenever people say, well, why do I need this piece of paper? And kids always like to ask, why do we have to learn this? Why? Because when it goes on in life, I know we're supposed to try to make every lesson connect to life. And yeah, I do it as much as I can. But at the end of the day, be clear. It's really not what you know. It's what you're able to show. And so make sure you're doing everything possible so you can show people what you know, and you'll never miss out on an opportunity. All right, that's DeVeaux Speaks for today, July 10th, 2019. There'll be some more coming out real soon.